Never underestimate the power of the little things.
Yeah, sometimes it's the small things in life that really count. And when we're trying to make these grand gestures, maybe a grand gesture is nice every now and again, but it's the everyday little things that really count.
So make something count in your day-to-day and listen to Get Real with the English Sisters, because that's what we're going to be talking about, how you can make the difference to your day by focusing on the little things that make that difference.
Yeah, noticing how they impact the quality of your life, I would say, for your life and the people around you.
Well, it's like when you go to a hotel and you see a little chocolate on the bed.
Yes, that's it. That's exactly what I was thinking about. It's a small detail, isn't
Even
it?
if you don't like chocolate, it's just that little thing that someone's taken that extra
care. Yeah, it's a small gesture of saying, "Oh, hello." I know they've been trained to leave them, but it's really
so trained.
well. They've been, it's training. It's part of the training, isn't it? To leave like chocolates and for the staff. It's part of hotel training, I imagine.
It just sounds funny the way you said it, trained.
It's training, yeah. It's a way they've been, is that not the correct way of saying it, training?
Probably, but it's part of their philosophy, isn't it?
Oh, you mean the hotel management philosophy, but I was actually thinking of the staff.
Yeah, you're thinking
for
of
the staff. I was imagining it was like part of the job training is to make everything beautiful and then leave the little special flower or whatever it is.
It's just like saying hello.
Homage, yeah, definitely like saying hello. But these small things are so important, like in not just for businesses, as we know they are for business, because as you were saying, it is important, but also for relationships as well. What about that? What about small things make a difference there?
Well, I think when you do those little small gestures, you add to the love bank, don't you? The love bank is when you put little things into that love bank to make that person love you more.
Yeah, I do remember that concept when it first came out. Yeah, well, I used to use that and say, "Oh, you're not going to get points in your love bank," to my husband. Yeah, or that's added extra points. Yeah, or it takes them away. I remember that. What was it? It's like the idea that it's.
I don't know. If you look it up, you'll probably find out who said it. But it's just the concept of it is that if whatever you're doing for your partner or helping your partner,
it's like giving you points, isn't it?
It's giving you like little love points. It will add to the love bank to make them love you more. But really, it's to make them feel as if you love them. I suppose it's the opposite. It's how you show your love for someone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So like if you make your partner say coffee in the morning because they like coffee. Yeah. It's a sweet gesture, isn't it? You make them a cup of tea, a cup of coffee.
Yeah, those are the small things.
Vice versa.
Yeah, that kind of do
you
count.
Give someone a hug in the morning. It's these little gestures that you can often take for granted, especially if you're rushing around and you don't think about them. But it's just that I suppose it's because what really it comes down to is that you're coming out of your own head and all your own issues and concerns you might have and all the anxiety that you may have, and you're going into someone else's head sort of thinking
their world,
I'm gonna do this for them, so you're thinking about them, aren't you?
Well, yeah, showing yes, exactly, you're thinking about them. It's like bringing them a coffee in bed, for example. That's a really kind, sweet gesture.
Yeah,
I think I've got to get that one back again. I used to have that. I used to be so spoiled with the breakfast in bed.
But it can also be the opposite. For instance, yesterday, my husband normally makes me a coffee after dinner because he knows that I really like it, and it's a really sweet gesture. But I saw he was really tired yesterday, so I made my own coffee.
Oh,
and I said,
I'm
making. No, I said no. He didn't want one. So I said, I'm making my own coffee so that you, because I know that you're tired, and he really appreciated it.
Yeah.
So sometimes it can be like the opposite thing. You can turn it around and do the opposite to because you know that they're making an effort for you. So if you see that they're really tired and overwhelmed, you can say, well, I'm going to do it for myself today because I know how tired you are. And it's really sweet. He really loved it.
Because you made your own coffee.
Well, because I was there and I was just making my own coffee, yeah. And I said, look,
Instead of expecting
look,
him,
darling, I'm
yeah.
making my own coffee tonight because I know you're really tired.
And he really
And he
appreciated
said,
it,
oh,
yeah.
thank you, darling.
Well, you were taking something off his like little to-do list because he knows that he's like, he does that for you every day.
Yeah, but it's like
So,
a sweet thing.
it was
that
a
he does.
sweet-
It's a little sweet thing that he does. He doesn't have to make me a coffee.
course
does
not.
Because it's a sweet gesture.
Yeah, it's one part of those lovely small gestures we were talking about. That the foundation, they're the building blocks of many relationships, and of most of the world's way of communicating. If we think about it, it's in everything. It's in businesses. It's in relationships. It's within your family. It's giving somebody a good night kiss or a good night, whatever, hug. That it's all these small things that
It's like when you're in the hospital as well. If you have a nurse or a doctor that just touches your arm or holds your hand, what a difference it can make. It's you feel understood, you feel heard. It's just so comforting.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right. In the hospital, it's because when you're in a moment of need, it's that tiny small gesture.
It can make such a huge
Gosh,
difference.
I remember it when I was in the hospital.
Exactly.
Yeah, gosh, just the nurse being so. I just thought, God, you're like, thank you for that touch. Amongst everything else, it was just this lovely warm touch. Just consoling. Absolutely, yeah.
And I think people don't really realise that it's these little differences that can make such a huge difference to your day and to your life in the end.
Absolutely, yeah. I was wondering who actually was saying that about the small differences. Oh yeah, what about putting your phone away when someone's talking? Like that's a big hot topic at the moment. Yeah,
I hate that if I'm talking to someone and they've got their on their phone. I mean,
No.
obviously I don't say anything, but
No,
I
but
feel as if I stopped talking.
Yeah, you have to, don't you?
Well, I feel as if I'm not being given the full attention that
Yeah, now
I
mean,
deserve.
I don't really think that's a small gesture. I would consider that quite a big gesture. If somebody
consider
actually,
it's rude.
yeah. Well, if you're talking, but it's like we're talking with people that you're very intimate with, not people that you don't know.
If you're intimate, like at dinner yesterday, we don't have our phones at dinner. They're in the other room.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And I think when we're sitting at the table, if you have your phone, unless you go and get it because you're looking at something or you see a phone call or something, you have to answer. But
Yeah, absolutely.
you're not just on your phone you're scrolling through stuff when you're talking to someone else. You're not really there, are you? I mean, now it's been proven, for instance, that in offices, the open plan offices, people do a lot less work. They're a lot more stressed. And they're less focused as well than in like before when you have your own office when it's noisy.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that might build some kind of community sense. Oh, right. Because that's the reason why it was made, wasn't it? To have these.
It's actually the opposite. People get really stressed. They get overstimulated, overburdened.
Oh gosh, I bet you they do. Yeah, sometimes it's.
You have to think we weren't even technologically about 100 years ago. There was nothing. I mean, the radio came round when it was first invented. It was like the first technological thing that would actually come into our
homes. Yeah, you're right.
Apart from literature.
Yeah, nowadays it is a lot of the small gestures are a lot around the phone, I think. Of putting your phone away and giving, that. You're right about that. I don't know how much that is a small gesture or a really massive.
Imagine if you're on a date or something and the other person's always got their phone out, always checking it constantly.
Or scrolling, yeah.
It's like what we learned when we were therapists. If you look at, even if you look at your watch or your phone, it's like saying, I've had enough of you now.
It's a clear rapport. Yeah, you're breaking rapport with somebody. You are actually obviously you're right. Yeah,
it's a clear signal to that person that you're not really that interested in what they're saying.
Well, well, time's up. Yeah, and that's literally means time's up for you, and my time that I can give you is up. Yeah, so it's actually really very, very abrupt. So yeah, it's those small things. So let's put that in as really kind of a small thing, but really it's a really big thing to actually put your phone away when somebody is talking to you, or have it on mute or something, put it in your pocket. Get, that's a gesture that shows somebody that, look, I'm going to give you some eye contact here. I think eye contact has become like so precious nowadays. It's so important to give it.
It's so rare, isn't it?
It's rare. It really is rare. Rare in families, rare when you're talking to your kids, rare when you're talking to your spouse, your partner.
It's always about rushing around and not stopping to look into someone's eyes.
Absolutely, yeah. And that's where the real connection is made, though.
Absolutely. Well, for instance, yesterday I'm just thinking, I was talking to my daughter I was really tired, it was in the evening. Normally when I talk to her and I work out, I'd already been working out all day, doing things all day. So I was just sitting on the settee and I just had my earbuds in. I was talking to my daughter and that's what I was doing. The TV was off. No one was in the room. And I wasn't on my device. The phone was next to me on one side because obviously it was a call that I needed the phone to be on.
Yeah.
But I was just there. I was just talking to her 100%, and she wasn't even in the room with me.
No.
So I could have been on my devices scrolling through other things.
Yeah, but you can tell when they're not listening to you properly, though. I can. Like if I'm talking to somebody and even through a WhatsApp call and they're going, you can tell. It's like when you say, what are you doing? You're working.
I know when you're on the phone doing
something
else.
I can't hide it. It's just not there. There's not.
But that was like quality time that I had with my daughter, who's in London at the minute. And it was like, we spent like 3 hours on the phone and it was just total full immersion in that conversation with her while she was on her way home. She was walking, making her dinner and everything, but it was full. She wasn't on her devices, I wasn't on mine, and it's that.
I think that's
really
like
connect, and that's so precious, and it's what doesn't happen very often nowadays.
Well, it has to happen more, so we have to put it in more. I think
for your own mental well-being and for you to relieve your own anxiety, it is so important to focus on that individual. Just doing one thing, just focusing on one thing, basically, even if it's just a little thing.
Even if
like
you might think, it's boring. I don't want to be sitting here at breakfast with my family because you might think it's boring. I'd rather be scrolling.
Oh yeah.
And laughing at the little cat videos or something. And I can appreciate they're funny, those videos, some of them, and it's fun to be. But then you will miss out, and you are not giving that clear sign that you're really connecting with the people around you. So it is important.
So it's a little
to do
thing
that. It's a little thing.
Makes such a huge difference to your life.
Yes,
and to others as well, because others will bathe in that attention that you're giving them, and they'll really relish it and think this is really special because. Unfortunately, in today's world, you don't get that much of it.
You don't. You really don't. It's quite rare. And absolutely. And then you remember these things.
Yeah. And I could have been just watching a film or doing some work online. I could have been doing something else. But no, I was talking to my daughter. So that's what
that's what you would do if she was in the room.
If she was in the room, I wouldn't be on my device. I'd be talking to her.
Yeah.
Like when she comes over for Christmas or whatever, we spend hours chatting.
Yeah, you do.
Which is still rare because not that many people do that now.
No, I agree. Yeah, it's very, very important. It's like holding hands again. That's like a really small gesture. Sometimes at the end of the evening, when I'm really tired, I don't really know what to do much. So just to connect with my hubby, I might just sit next to him and just hold hands. And then that's a very small gesture, but I know it means a lot. To him, I know it means a lot because he loves connecting, physically. So even if it's really small, it's not for him, so it's a small gesture that I do, or like, a gentle caress when you're driving in the car, just like it's a little touch. It's very, very small, but it's like a big deal. It's like the blocks.
I think
it's like the blocks.
It's
the
most important things in life in the end, the little things. that are underestimated and undervalued, they're the ones that really count.
They do. They're just everyday little things. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So what are the little things that you're going to do that will make a huge difference to your life?
Yeah, daily, small.
Sometimes it can even be just something you do just for yourself, like taking a 5-minute walk, looking at a tree, appreciating the leaves on the tree. You know, we're coming into the seasons where the trees look so beautiful, so you can just stop and appreciate them, and then you'll see that it just makes such a difference to your day as well, just that little thing.
Absolutely. Small gestures for yourself too.
We know that a lot of you follow us and have not yet subscribed, so it makes a huge difference to the show. We are continuously growing, so please do hit that subscribe or follow button, and please do come and see us on YouTube as well, where you can see us in person on video.
Hope to. Yeah, I hope that you message us and we'll be in contact. It'll be lovely.
Stay tuned. Lots of love and smiles from the
English sisters. Bye bye.